we are now starting a new chapter, that is mineral nutrition in plants. And we will be talking about all those minerals which are essential for plant growth. We classify these minerals into two categories: major or macro nutrients or minerals. And the criteria for considering them as major or macronutrients is the amount in which they are required by the plant. They are required in an amount which is between 1 to 10 milligrams per gram dry weight of the plant body or tissue. So if an element is required or is present in this quantity, then that is considered as macro element or macronutrient. The second category is minor or micro, or they are sometimes also known as trace elements. And the criteria to consider them in this category is, again, the amount or concentration in which they are present or required by the plant, and that is 0.1 milligram per gram dry weight of the plant. Now let us write down those elements which are considered as macro and which are considered as micro. So examples of these macro elements are carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium, calcium and magnesium. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. So these 9 come in the category of macro elements or major elements. The other category is micro elements, and we include iron, manganese, boron, zinc, copper, chloride ions, nickel in this category. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and one more molybdenum. That is 8. So these 8 and these 9 are considered as essential elements. So there are these 17 elements are considered as essential. We will also talk about the criteria on the basis of these elements have been considered as essential. But these essential elements are considered essential because of certain reasons. First, that these elements are part of biomolecules and so they are responsible for formation of structural molecules. So they are also responsible for giving this structure to the plant. So they are considered as essential. The second criteria is they are also essential for energy producing compounds. So needed for energy producing compounds like ATP. Energy producing compounds like ATP. Then those elements are also considered as essential elements. The third criteria or third reason why they have been considered as essential is that these elements activate or inhibit enzymatic action. Enzymatic action. And we can take a couple of examples here. That is magnesium ion. So example is magnesium ions help in the activation of RuBisCO and PEPcO. That is RuBP carboxylase and PEP carboxylase, which are responsible for photosynthetic reaction, that is C3 and C4 pathways. This is one. Another is molybdenum. Molybdenum ions are also essential for working of nitrogenase enzyme, which is responsible for nitrogen fixation. So these are 17 elements and they are very, very essential for the plants. Now we will talk about the criteria for essentiality. Let us talk about the criteria now. Criteria for essentiality. That means what are those conditions on the basis of which we have considered that these 17 elements, they are essential for the plant body. And this criteria were given by Arnon and Stout in 1939. The points or the criteria are: the first, that element would be considered as essential which is required or essential for the normal growth and reproduction of the plant. That means those elements which play a significant role or they are required for normal reproduction and normal growth would be considered as essential. In their absence, the growth gets affected or reproduction of the plant would get affected. The second thing, that those elements are considered essentials whose requirement is not replaceable. That means they must be specific in requirement. That means if one element is considered as essential, then that is definitely required. And if that element is not present, its absence or deficiency could not be or should not be supplemented by other element, then that would be considered as essential. So that element, they must be specific in requirement, and their absence or deficiency, let us write deficiency, should not be supplemented. Should not be supplemented by other element. Then those specific elements, they are considered as essential for the plant. Third criteria is they must be essential for metabolic metabolic activities. So we write it as they must be directly involved in metabolic reaction or in metabolism. Now, after we have understood that there are 17 elements which are considered as essential, so should we be knowing that how many elements are actually found in the plant? Movement of mineral elements takes place through roots when plant absorb water. So now these 17 are essential, but 60 plus, that means more than 60 elements have been reported in plants. For many of these elements, we don't even know what role do they play. They have just passively moved from the soil into the plant. So there are 60 plus elements which have been reported in the plant. 17 have been considered as essential. And how have we reached to this conclusion that they are essential? That means there is a mechanism by which scientists have found out that if these elements are not there, then there are distinct deficiency symptoms, and that has been studied using hydroponics. Hydroponics is soil-less culture. That means plants are cultured in aqueous medium. Soil-less culture means there is no soil and the plants are cultured in aqueous medium. That means there is water in which all the nutritive elements are provided, and this is used to identify the essentiality. So if we take aqueous medium having all elements except for one, and whatever deficiency symptoms are seen, that can be concluded as the deficiency of that element which was missing in that medium, because doing this entire thing in soil is very difficult, because in soil we cannot remove a particular element. This hydroponics technique was proposed by Sachs. There were many scientists who proposed or who tried this technique, but the final foolproof technique was given by Sachs, and it has been used successfully for developing many types of plants. So there are many plants which have been developed using these hydroponics, and these are tomatoes, lettuce, strawberries, and there are many. This list is long, but this technique of hydroponics is actually used to find out which are the essential elements, and the same technique is also used to find out the deficiency symptoms of various elements. So in the next video, we will talk about all different elements and their deficiency symptoms, and also where these elements play the significant role in plant growth and development.